Welfare Society.
Welcome, everyone, to the April 8th Lower Southampton Township Board of Supervisors meeting. Can we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It's great to see everybody out there tonight. The Board of Supervisors held an executive session at 5:30 where we had interviewed one candidate for the HR/Assistant Township Manager position. We spoke about possible litigation with Tri-State Engineering and the Provco Corporation, and we also had to discuss some personnel from down in our police department. The Board of Supervisors also held a workshop at 6:42 where Mr. Coppins was asked to provide some safety cones and caution tape for an upcoming VAC event over at the Senior Center. Mr. Everett and Mrs. Bowman spoke about a proposed walking trail over at Veterans Park and possibly also replacing benches and some bleachers. Mr. Dillon and Mr. Everett spoke about Sunset Memorial Park release of a letter of credit. Mr. Everett spoke about a stormwater corrugated pipe off of Street Road on private property, which is causing some sinkholes. Mr. Coppins spoke about Henry Avenue, some rumble strips that will hopefully be installed in the near future, their cost, and how the installation process goes. Mr. Coppins also spoke about an extension for the permit for the Do Not Block the Box project. And Mr. Mulholland gave us an update on the upcoming new signage for our Veterans Park. All right, in front of us tonight, folks, we have Proclamation Resolution 2026-12 honoring Neshaminy Corps Swim and also a check presentation to Neshaminy Corps Swimming. Let's see here, with Mrs. Bowman's long history with Neshaminy Corps Swimming Program, I'm sure she would be honored to read the proclamation and perhaps make the motion. After the proclamation has been voted on, Mrs. Bowman will then handle the check presentation. We will then break for a few minutes for some photos. Mrs. Bowman, the spotlight is on you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and it's so nice to see some of you I don't know, some of you I knew when you were just little babies starting out in the pool. So welcome and thank you for showing up. So with that said, I'd like to read Proclamation Resolution 2026-12. Whereas Lower Southampton Township is a township of the second class in the County of Bucks, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, pursuant to the authority vested it's by the laws of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. The Board of Supervisors of the Township of Lower Southampton does hereby resolve as follows. Whereas Neshaminy Corps Swimming was established during the winter season of 1997 and 98 with 10 swimmers participating by the summer of 1998. And whereas the mission of Neshaminy Corps Swimming is to develop goal-driven, team-oriented swimmers within the Neshaminy School District community who strive for excellence in the pool while building the discipline, character, and passion necessary to remain lifelong participants in the sport of swimming. And whereas the vision of Neshaminy Corps Swimming is to serve as a leading developmental swim program within the Neshaminy School District community, preparing athletes for the success at the high school level, collegiate level, and lifelong level. We're fostering a strong team culture and lasting love for the sport. And whereas Neshaminy Corps Swimming expanded during the 2002-2003 season to more than 50 swimmers and joined the Suburban Aquatics League in southeastern Pennsylvania. And in 2013 added a USA Masters program to provide opportunities for adult swimmers. and in 2018 established a spin-off swim team as part of the Lower Bucks County Swim League. And whereas Neshaminy Core Swimming has developed numerous high school athletes who have qualified for PIAA District 1 swimming championships and PIAA state championships, and whereas many athletes have gone on to compete successfully at the collegiate level in the NCAA Division I, II, and III, with several holding school records at universities across all three divisions. And whereas Neshaminy Core Swimming currently serves 125 swimmers in its program. And now, therefore, do we, the Board of Supervisors of the Township of Lower Southampton, express our sincere appreciation to Neshaminy Core Swimming for its continued dedication to developing young athletes and strengthening the spirit of community within Neshaminy School District and Lower Southampton Township. Adopted by at least a majority of its members of the Board of Supervisors at a duly advertised public meeting of the Township on the 8th day of April 2026, at which a quorum was present.
And Mrs. Bowman, would you like to make that motion?
I would like to make the motion.
All right.
Motion to adopt Proclamation Resolution 2026-12 honoring Neshaminy Core Swimming.
Perfect. Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion,
All right,
Mr. Chair.
Very good. Any discussion from the board? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Good. All right, Mrs. Bowman.
Look at it. So just to give you some brief history why I chose to donate. I don't know if you guys are aware why you're even here. I know Coach Dave said, be there. I chose to donate my stipend as being the secretary treasurer to the swim team. I have over 20 years experience. Some of you might not know that. I started when my Andrew was 5 years old. And him and Lizzie Miller were the two youngest on the team. And we grew the team. I was the first USA Masters program coach. I took the team over to Phoenix Swimming as a summer core program, but we were technically Phoenix, and I coached for 2 years. I attribute swimming to saving my life. It is a long story. I've been a competitive swimmer since I was 5, and I've been a lifelong swimmer. Dave's trying to get me back into Masters. I don't know, jury's out on that one, but it's my passion. I hope it becomes your passion, and please continue to stay in the pool, continue to be good, dedicated students, and I hope to make it out to one of your summer swim meets this summer. You guys always have me as your champion. I will always advocate for you. Never hesitate to reach out. So with that said, why don't you guys come up and get some money? That's why you're really here.
All right.
You're welcome. Who has my phone?
For my first big check ever.
I will say, I don't think people understand the, swimming is a low revenue sport, but there's a lot of costs. So you add up caps, goggles, suit, you could be $200 more. So I will say some of our families are struggling, so I am going to put this money to really good use. I already have some plans for some weight equipment, some water polo nets, some different stuff that we can use across our ages. I know some people asked. We go as young as 4 years old all the way up to 21, 22-year-old college level full scholarship swimmers. 99 for our masters. It doesn't let you put 100 in the system, but I'm sure it will. But anyway, I want to thank you guys, and it's really great to see my team. So thank you again, Cindy.
Thank you very much, Coach Dave. All right. That was terrific. All right, folks. At this time, I would like to open the floor to public comment. If anybody would like to come up for public comment, please do so. Please state your name, your address, if you could put it in the logbook, and as always, we have a 3-minute time limit. Going once, going twice. All right, sold. We will now move on to the consent agenda. Line 1A, approval of minutes, March 25th, 2026. B, approval of accounts payable, April 8th, 2026. C, approval of certain reoccurring monthly bills, April 8th, 2026. D, approval of the annual $5,000 donation to the Neshaminy School District Summer Pass Program. Do we have a motion? Motion by Mr. Bordner. Do we have a second? Thank you, Mr. Castle. Any discussion from the board? We'll wait for Cindy. Sorry. No, that's okay. All right. Any discussion from the board? Seeing none, I'm losing my place. All in favor? There we go. Thank you, Mr. Paratano. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. All right, line item 2, conditional use hearing for Invest X LLC, 92 Bustleton Pike, Feasterville, PA. Mr. Dillon, sir.
Yes, who's representing the applicant?
Augusta O'Neill.
Augusta.
I'm happy to spell my name. Like you said.
Please.
It seems to be. Can you? There we go.
So you want to spell it for the court reporter?
My first name is spelled Augusta. Last name is spelled O''Neill.
I would have missed the second L, so.
Most people do.
So we're open, this is a conditional use hearing on the site address of 92 Bustleton Pike, Feasterville, PA, 19053, tax map parcel 21009096. The applicant's Invest X LLC. We have a number of exhibits which we first have to put into evidence, and just as a refresher to the board members, this is a conditional use hearing. Some uses are permitted as a matter of right, others are permitted by special exception before a zoning hearing board or conditional use before the Board of Supervisors. A use permitted by conditional use is expressly permitted by the zoning ordinance, but subject to a hearing and decision of the Board of Supervisors. The Board of Supervisors have the right to examine the use, determine the objective compliance with the standards of the ordinance to assure that the public interest is protected, and attach reasonable conditions or safeguards to protect the public interest in health, safety, and welfare. The burden of proof is on the applicant to prove that they meet the objective standards of the ordinance. As a first issue, we have exhibits. We're going to mark and admit into evidence exhibit number 1, which is the application and the addendum. Exhibit number 2, a copy of the deed. Exhibit 3, the tax parcel map. Exhibit 4, Arrow Engineers Report of 3/20/26. Exhibit 5, the plans which were submitted with the application. Exhibit 6, the Planning Commission notice. Exhibit 7, Planning Commission notice of mailing. Exhibit 8, Planning Commission notice of property posting. Exhibit 9, Planning Commission notice of township posting. number 10, Board of Supervisors notice dated 4/8/26. Exhibit 11, proof of publication. Exhibit 12, Planning Commission minutes from last evening. Ms. O'Neill, do you have any objections to the omission of those exhibits?
I do not. I also have two exhibits I was going to hand up.
Please.
If I could approach. Thank you. Can I just pass them down? Hopefully I have enough.
So Exhibit 13, what would you reference as?
Exhibit 13 can be the exterior picture of the former Enco, which is where the site is going to be located. So you're busy, so.
And Exhibit 14 would be the existing features plan. Do you have any objection to all these exhibits being omitted?
I do not.
Why don't you have your client sworn, please?
Sure. My client is Dimitri Zenko. He's seated to my right. He's the principal of InvestX LLC, which is the owner of the property.
Okay, any other witnesses? Okay, have him sworn.
Oh,
Whoever's going to testify.
Okay.
Right here, please. Swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Dimitri,
Zenko. DMITRYZANKO.
thank you.
Will there be anybody else
and then we
testify?
also have Ivan.
IDAN. GUD is the last name. IMOB.
GDIMOB. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing?
Yes, I do.
So, Ms. O'Neill, would you please make the presentation and have your clients affirm what you've said and have them available for questioning?
Absolutely.
Okay, you may
Thank you.
proceed.
Thank you for your time. I'm here this evening representing InvestX LLC. They are making a conditional use application to use the property at 92 Bustleton Pike, which is going to be known as Devon Auto Group. If I say Bustleton Avenue at any point in my presentation, I apologize because I'm sorry? Devon Auto Group, D-I-V-A-N. My clients own 3 other used car sales lots in the area. There are 2 others on Bustleton Pike, as well as a location in Bensalem. They sell higher-end cars. There's going to be Mercedes being sold and Bentleys. If you pass by any of their auto lots that are currently open, you'll see the kind of caliber vehicles that they're selling there. Their main location is at 906 Bustleton Pike. This will be their 4th operation in the immediate area. The site that is the subject of the application this evening is the site of a former AMCO. That was the Exhibit 13 that I previously handed up. I hope I got that number right. So just for the board's edification, this is what the site presently looks like. Previously an AMCO, it's been vacant for some time. We are going to renovate the interior and the exterior and keep those bay doors that you can see in this image. Most importantly, there's going to be no auto repair at the site. So there's not going to be any painting, no oil changes. There's not going to be anything that's going to cause any noise or disturbance to the neighbors that are near this property. We are going to spruce up the building inside and out, like I said before. With respect to signage for the business, we're going to be reusing that pylon sign that you can see in the image. There's also going to be the name of the company above the garage bay doors. Presently, there are 2 entrances on Bustleton Pike, as you can see in the site plan that I handed up. There's 2 entrances on Bustleton, and there's 1 on Bridle Path Lane. We are going to repave everything that you can see on there as part of our improvements of the site. There are not going to be any service bays at this location, so we only need 15 parking spots, but we're providing 18. Additional parking is going to be in front of that second Bustleton Pike entrance, along the building, as you can see in this aerial. We're not going to be parking vehicles in that grassy area that you can see right off of Bridle Path Lane. There's going to be 2 employee spaces, two spaces for customers, and then we are going to be using the remainder of those spaces to park vehicles that are for sale. Depending on parking availability, they do have other locations along Bustleton Pike to put other cars and to move the inventory as they need to. Customers usually come by appointment, so if someone sees a vehicle for sale that they want to discuss financing for, they make an appointment to come by the store. So circulation will be the same as it functioned for the AMCO, but the parking lot will be better organized than it was with its previous user. Any spots, as I said before, not being used for parking are going to be used for customers. As you can see in this aerial image that's on the site plan, the plan right now is for both of those curb cuts on Bustleton Pike to remain. The applicant is likely going to block off that second exit, so the one that's closer to Bridle Path Lane. They're going to do that. They're going to likely park vehicles there and put cones up to prevent anyone from using that as an entrance. Just want to go through some of my notes. That provides kind of site flexibility, having that second opening available. It just helps them with being able to circulate throughout the site. Again, as I indicated earlier, there isn't going to be any repairs that are going to be done here, but there might be some detailing for the cars that are available for sale, just cleaning them out and making them attractive for potential customers. With respect to those woods that you see in the back, the plan is that they're going to remain.
When you say the plan, you will agree that being a condition of any approval?
We would agree to that. In fact, I think that the impervious area would require a variance, so if we wanted to pave that, we'd have to come back to get approvals from the township for that.
Okay, continue.
I want to be clear that you're going to maintain, I want to be clear that you're going to maintain a buffer for those 2 residences that are behind you.
We would maintain the buffer in the event that.
Right, and so that they would.
Okay,
area to be strict. That's over here.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let's let her,
Let her finish.
my bad.
Let me just make sure I got all my notes to what we're doing here. I think that we might have covered everything. So those garage doors that you can see in the picture of the site, they are going to remain as an architectural feature, but it's not going to be used as a garage. So there's going to be a showroom, one of the showcase vehicle might be displayed there, but again, no actual auto body work is happening in there. And the rest of the space will be used as an office for the car salespeople. I believe that your solicitor already covered this, but the auto sales use is a conditional use in the C2 zone district. With that being said, if the supervisors have any questions about anything that Mr. Borden?
You finish your sentence.
Oh, if there's any questions about anything that I said this evening, we're happy to answer questions.
So, I'm a big stickler on details, so I just want to review everything you said.
Yeah.
So you're saying no future or further improvement of impervious surface or buffer zone without the approval of the zoning hearing board in the future?
In that,
Or the board of supervisors?
so in that area that's currently shown as grassy and has woods off of Bridle Path Lane, that would require a variance to add any more impervious
more.
surface. But the property itself is going to be, the paving is going to be approved, so just for aesthetics and to clean up the site.
No additional impervious surface?
Correct.
Okay. I'll rattle off the real quick ones. So there is no painting on site?
There's going to be no painting on
No
it.
service work on site?
No service work
No
at all.
body work on site?
No body
No
work.
storage of gas, oil, hazardous chemicals?
No.
No LED signs?
Wait, actually, the oil or chemicals, that would be no, also because, yeah, sorry. When you have a car, there's always going to be.
I get it.
Yeah.
No LED signage?
No LED signage? I don't believe that there is.
Going to use the traditional sign with the vinyl and the lighting behind it?
We're going to use the existing AMCO sign, correct.
Yeah, so no LED signage.
Uh,
The digital displays?
There's LEDs inside.
Digital billboard, digital screens, stuff like that?
LED light.
Digital screens?
No.
Okay.
Sorry, what was that last question?
Digital screens, I've been corrected. Another one I was going to ask, which I was just thinking about, so you're proposing not using the bridle lane entrance?
Oh, no, we are.
You are?
Yeah.
And you're eliminating any of the other two on Bustle Lane, or are you staying also?
So the two,
We're not eliminating them, we're keeping them as they are.
Okay.
We are blocking them off if we need to block them off. We have the ability to just put cars there to block them off, or any conage that there is, just to show that this cannot be used.
So part of Lower South's growth is beautification of our town. You have a significant piece of sidewalk there that just is kind of blah up against Bustle and Ave. You're going to have fancy, expensive cars parked out there. Would you be open to a flower bed or a retention wall in front of that barren spot of the sidewalk to make it more eye-appealing and protect your cars at the same time?
so
Or
you're,
the two driveways going into the building, parking lot?
If we do that, then it becomes more of a permanent blockage where we can't unblock it if we ever need to.
Well, I don't know.
He's saying between the driveways.
Oh, between.
Between the driveways, you have, it looks like 8 car spots right there.
Yeah.
Would you be opposed to some beautification, landscaping there, flower bed, or something along the guidelines that the zoning officer could put forth? That we have a couple hundred options, but we're really trying to make the neighborhood look a lot nicer than what it is right now.
We would be open for that, yeah.
yeah, we can
Okay.
work with your zoning officer.
So the last question I have, and it doesn't have to do with anything on this piece of paper or the picture, have you spoken to the neighbors? Are they for this
I can answer
or
that.
against it?
We have a neighbor who is for it and is in the audience this evening.
Okay, are they here?
We're neighbors.
So do you want to hear public, do you have any further evidence of this?
Not at this time. If there's anything that comes up as a result of
You
the
want to ask?
public comments.
So, anyone from the public care to speak on this matter?
If you could please come up to the microphone.
Yeah.
Your name, sir?
Barry Selkovitz,
You spell your last name?
Selcovitz.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes,
Go ahead, sir.
okay. I live about a third of a block away on the corner of Bridle Path and Windswept Drive, southwest corner. The only things I would be asking about this, there is an old no parking sign that's washed away and tilted. It's near the fire plug between the properties. So that should be replaced, and I would ask that you do not use, that it remains no parking on Bridle Path because the egress has been a problem. Nissan has their parking parallel, and then they park against it, but it's on their properties. The road needs to be clear.
So,
The big thing about that egress is in the winter time, it's the only egress to go east to get in and out of the neighborhood because everything else is up on the hill.
So I can actually resolve that.
Okay.
So I think you're referring to, you don't want to see a vehicle, I'm going to try and make it so, you don't want to see a vehicle parked in front of this fire hydrant that's near this grassy
That
area.
road, yeah, that should be
Yeah,
open. The
and-
driveway is fine, that's a
Yeah,
business.
Yep, but I confirm, nobody's going to be parking in that grassy area that's up against the fire hydrant.
Mr. Cobbins, can we also do something as far as putting a new sign there? Apparently, it's, maybe you guys can go out and take a look at it to see if...
Yeah, we can replace it, absolutely.
All right, very good. Thank you, Mr. Cobbins, for that.
And signs on the property, the sign that's there is fine. Now, Devon Order Group is 2 blocks north. I use the chiropractor on that corner. They tend to park on that street, and it clogs up that egress at First Street and Bustleton on the east side.
I got you. Stoltz Ave, yep.
Other than that, the business is great. You know, it's good for the neighborhood. One of the AMCO people, maybe 2 tenants ago, one winter time had parked like one of their vehicles like on that pavement, and that blocks the egress. So the idea of maybe a flower bed just beyond the pavement, you know, a little lower, you know, yeah, aesthetically that would be nice, and it would also look like a good buffer. So. Other than that?
Thank you.
I think we can get- Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I forgot to ask, upon, if the conditional use is granted, you're going to agree to all those things I rattled off?
Yes, we'll work
Yes.
that out. Anyone else in the public?
Your name?
Joseph
Last name?
Macrina, M-A-C-R-I-N-A.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. I live at 139 Brookside Drive, which is in a little bit in Pine Tree Farms. Again, the gentleman before me said we do come out of there in the winter because the hole is awful. The lake's always blinking, which I understand. I'm against it. I don't want another car dealer. He has two already. That is a mess on First or Second Street there. Always washing the cars in there. Big crowd. That's the truck center, I take it. The other one's up the old Dunkin' Donuts years ago. That's always a mess. I cut through there sometimes when you go back, the backside of that, come out there, the cars are on the road. They have the one in Van Salem. They need a fourth one. Boston Avenue just looks bad, I think, living there for 20 years. Car dealers, smoke shops, lights everywhere. It's not good. I don't like it living there. I don't need another car dealer. So I like to add. I just feel it'd be a problem.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
My name is Ravim Borosevich,
I'm sorry, spell?
R-U-V-I-M,
They agreed to do it, but I don't know
Borosevich, V-O,
exactly.
V-O-V, as in Victor.
V-O-V-O.
No, V-O-L-O, L-O-S-E-V-I-C-H.
You figure it out.
Okay. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
I'm the neighbor right behind this Amco. When it was an Amco, there was trash all there. Like, I hated it. I couldn't walk, and my kids couldn't play in the back because it was all overgrown. I asked them plenty of times to clean it up. I never asked these guys to do it. They cleaned it somehow. And then I actually bumped into them when they were cleaning and doing the roof on the building. I was like, can you guys at least paint it or, keep that buffer between my house and your business? And they've been keeping it clean, so I don't have anything against them. Like Barry said earlier, if we could just keep that side street clear, that'd be awesome for us. And like I said, to me, I mean, as long as they're not going to be into my backyard, or my kids always play in the backyard, I think it should be fine.
Do you have a fence back there?
No, we do not. We just have like a tree line.
It's just a tree line?
Yeah, that's it.
So how do you know if it's, if the problem's on Amco's end or on?
I mean, it was Emco's
I'm not
because
trying to be argumentative. I just
Yeah.
wanna-
It was all, they had like oil barrels like against their building. And then, like, so it's, you walk out of my back, you just have oil barrels standing there.
Right.
And like plastic barrels filled with chemicals or something. I don't know exactly what they were, I didn't really.
Well, I believe they agreed to no chemical storage.
Yeah, and nothing to be back there, that's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anybody else from the crowd? All right, I have a few questions.
No.
No, we do? Oh, I apologize.
It's okay. I wasn't sure if I was going to say anything, but I'm Mary Thompson.
Okay, do you
My married
swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give us the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes. I know it's kind of hard to say because we don't know how it's going to be, and I agree with my neighbor that I feel like we do have enough used car dealers already on Bustleton. But I guess my question is, do you know what the hours are going to be? What days are going to be open and the operating hours?
Our working hours are 9 to 7, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 on Saturdays, and we are closed on Sundays.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Are you open to that being part of a condition as part of conditional agreement is granted?
Yes.
Conditional, sorry. What was that, Nick? I asked if they were willing to,
Got to put the mic on there.
I had asked them if they were willing to use that as a condition to be added onto the application if we were so obliged to approve the conditional use.
Yes. And we were actually, I would like to add, we were actually thinking of actually switching to 6 p.m. working hours, but that's just a thought that we have in mind. So not till 7 p.m., but more to 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. 9 to 5.
Don't offer if you're not sure.
That's
on the record.
For the record, this winter, all of our locations worked from 9 to 6 p.m.
Do you want to amend your condition that we just talked about to 9 to 6 then, rather than 9 to 5?
It was 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No Sundays closed.
All
We're
right.
not allowed as a car dealer.
Can we raise questions?
go ahead.
All right, a couple questions. I don't think anybody else wants to talk. Okay, all right. You had said a total of how many parking spots on the lot?
There are 18.
18?
Yep.
Okay, so 18 spots, I mean, just what you have here is, I believe, more than 18, but then you're also saying, correct me if I'm wrong, but you might possibly also park cars in front of the two driveways along Bustleton. Is that correct? Did I understand that correctly?
There's 18 parking spots, and then we're looking to use the inside space, the 2,800 square foot building, to park 2 or 3 cars inside in the showroom.
Right, but let's see. I'm just looking at the map right here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. You have 18 just highlighted in red.
Correct.
Okay, but then you also said that you will, correct me if I'm wrong, possibly park additional cars in front of the entranceways. So now you're telling me, to me, it sounds like you're going to be parking more than 18 cars now. Which one is it? No more than 18 cars total? Is that what you're saying?
Well, there's also going to be parking for customers, and then there's also going to be parking for 2 employees on site.
Okay, so how
And
many
if-
parking spots do you need total?
To sell?
To sell. And then, yeah, to sell, and then also total. How many customers do you plan on having there? I mean, 1 or 2 per day at a time, and then 1 or 2 employees?
I think he's asking how many cars are you going to display? I mean, are we talking display or park?
Well, I'd like to know both, actually.
Yeah, that's what,
So we have 18 on the plan, and then the intent is to leave that entrance open.
Which entrance open?
That's the one that's closer to Bridle Path, that's off of
Okay.
75. In which case, the site that's currently in front of the board shows 18. So we'd have the 2 employees, and then maybe 2 customers, so then the other 14 would be for those cars that are for sale.
Because I just, I drive by your other location, and, I mean, you have it packed with cars. And, I don't want to hear 18 cars for sale, and then, you can easily fit more than 18 cars in this lot. So I get the feeling you are probably going to have 30 cars in this lot, easily. You're going to, that's how you guys make money, right? You want to have as many cars there as possible. So, I mean, how many cars are you really going to have for sale, possibly at one time? It just doesn't seem like I don't see any car dealership not filling their lot up, and you have a lot of leftover space here.
Okay. We also have the ability to close off both of the Bustleton entrances by putting cars there. So as we calculated, we can fit about 3 cars to close off that area, between 3 and 4 cars to close off the entrances. So if we close both of them off with cars, that would be additional 6 parking spots. We can also, of course, in a nice fashion, organize the cars inside the lot just to be offered for sale. But again, all just to make it, we would like to just make it a nice, aesthetical place. And,
Right, so
not-
18 plus 6 right there, now you're at 24. I think you're going to be selling more than, 18 cars at one time.
Well, some of the other locations are overflowing, so we would like to also use this space to unload those locations and put these cars so they're, better separated and each lot isn't as packed.
Jump in.
Mr. Chair, would it be easier to ask council to give us a not-to-exceed number for the lot, and then we can agree if that works for us, because I think it's unattainable for somebody to be able to guess how many cars for sale they're going to have at any given time, but having an amount of cars and not to exceed limit would be the best way to go.
Listen, if they say 18 cars, I'm fine with that. I just don't want to see 30, 35 cars, so if you want to keep it at the 18, I think that's a great idea.
And just to clarify, now I'm getting confused, would it be 18 for sale or 18 plus those 2 employees and potentially 2 customers?
I think what Nick's...
I would recommend total cars all on-site to include the 2 or 3 spots inside the display. That way there's no issues on how many cars were out there at any given time, because you're going to move cars and they're going to come and go, and you're going to keep running total at all times. It's just easier to do not to exceed.
So I believe my client's testimony was also that he's going to have 2 showcase cars in the building. So then,
Yeah, I wouldn't, my opinion, I'm fine with cars in the building.
fine with cars in the middle, so those would be omitted from that 18 count.
That's my opinion.
Okay.
Can I ask, Mike, given the size of this lot area, how many cars should be parked on this?
13 is what.
13 total for,
Is what the parking requirement is,
so is that, like,
the minimum. So
That's-
they're over the minimum.
Yeah.
I know. It's
So-
required to have 13 by ordinance.
Okay, it's-
We're providing.
but is that the cars for sale? Like, how many total cars parked on this lot should they not exceed?
I'm with Kim on that, like, I believe the 18, and then we discussed last night,
Not
the
giving
staff
me a
and
number.
the sale, customer parking, clearly identified, right?
Yeah.
Is it safe to say 25 would fit there safely? Mike?
What?
Was it safe to say not to exceed 25 to include the employees and customers?
I'm not an engineer, but yes, that would probably, 24 would probably be good, based off of what I know in the parking plan and the striping. But, it can also be addressed if it's overparked. We have that conversation with them. They're receptive at the Stoltz Avenue. I mean, I agree, it's packed in tight, but,
Cindy, are you guys good with 24 if they make that a condition?
Well, I think we should wait till we go through everybody's questions, and then we'll come up with our final.
Yeah.
But I would be agreeable to something along those lines. You got more questions? Ken?
One other question I have too. Unloading of cars. How do you guys expect to unload the vehicles that you're going to be putting up?
We actually have a location in Ben Salem. That's where majority of our cars go to. There's also a repair shop, Lenz Auto. He inspects every car, and then one of our employees, they would drive them over to our dealership.
Perfect, okay. Last question, and this is for our police chief. Chief, I'm going to put you on the spot. These 2 gentlemen have, a couple of businesses in our township. What type of complaints do you hear, if any, from the...
I think we got some parking stuff. I don't think it was anything major. I guess it was in Stoltz, was it Stoltz there?
Yeah.
Neighbors complaining over here a couple of times.
Okay,
I can take a better look at it tomorrow if we can.
okay,
That's our main reason for a 4th location. We want to unload
okay,
the main hub to put nicer cars at 92 as well.
okay. All right, I'm done with my questions for now.
I have one comment.
I have a question when you're done.
Down the line when he's done. On the color diagrams that you've handed out, there is 3 parking spaces indicated on sheet 1 of 2. And the vehicle that's parked there would potentially block the line of sight for vehicles coming out on Bridle Path Lane. You see that long car or truck there?
Looks like a flatbed.
It's on all 3 of the photos that I have. It's the same photo each time.
Right here.
The one with the parking spot. That vehicle can't remain there. It creates a,
I believe that the engineer would have used this from an aerial from when AMCO owned the property.
yeah, but I'm looking at one with green lines indicating parking stalls.
There's no cars coming.
Sheet 1 of 2 that came in our packet.
Come out, you'll only look left.
It's on 14, too.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
It's on 14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's that, a flatbed?
It's not, yes, we're not looking to obstruct that.
Right, so you might lose 2 spaces right on that corner. from parking on that corner. So keep that in mind. You know, I don't know if those two parking spaces can
Can
be
also
lined.
back that car up. We had an issue on Stolz Avenue, neighbors came up, we just moved the car away. You know, we moved the car back where we can always see it. We also pull out, and then every day, so we don't want to obstruct our view as well.
Those two spaces are not part of the 18 if you count them.
So, John, would that, or Mike, would that be maintaining the site, what is it called, site triangle?
Triangle would need to be maintained from there. They have to be clear. What's the? 10 feet. 10 feet maintenance. So like they can't park the cars up on the sidewalk either, it has to be back to clear that, make sure, that's the natural buffer.
There's still enough space to enter from here if we back these up.
Cortana, you're next.
Gentlemen, I just want to understand your structure here a little bit first. Invest is your property holdings, and you operate as Divian Motor Cars. All right. I'm one of those that firmly believe that we have certain areas in this township that we have to cultivate for businesses, and Bustleton Avenue is definitely one of them. We also want to cultivate, businesses that are good neighbors as well, and good stewards to the township. Stolz Avenue is a mess, all right? You guys got every square inch of that property stacked. And I understand what you're saying, you're looking for, to relieve some of that on there. And we're not going to have what's at Stolz Avenue if we grant this at the AMCO property. Also, you guys, your operations, you have some issues with the township. You were 3 years in the rear, okay, on business privilege taxes. And when you come here for this, all of a sudden, the taxes are paid up. I mean, being part of a good steward is to make sure you stay current with the township. If we're approving you to be part of continuing growing our neighborhood, part of your deal is to pay the taxes and pay them on time. I understand if there's a dispute, something like that, that's a different story, but it's kind of ironic that we're 3-4 years in the rears, and then all of a sudden, this comes in front of us, and all of a sudden, you're all paid up. So I would encourage you to stay on top of that, if we, select to grant.
And not to make excuses, but we actually had a dispute with Gary,
right,
the auditor, and somehow he misplaced the email. And when I told him about it, he found it after all. So I'm not making excuses, but
almost 4 years.
That really was the case.
All right. Like I said, we're trying to cultivate good stewards to the township.
With respect, I'd like to add, the taxes that were owed.
Right.
They are calculated based off of our revenue.
Of course.
So we have a location in Bensallin Township also.
Right.
And we were being, pretty much, at some point of time, we thought that it was not calculated correctly because our revenues are from all of the locations, and not all of the locations are in the Lower Southampton Township.
Well, I understand that, but
so we
only care about the Lower Southampton Township, though.
Yeah, so we were looking to...
Look, I'm not trying to well, maybe I am chastising you a little bit, but, like I said, you want to grow in our township, well, if you're being a good steward, we want to keep you, but, we got to play by the rules. Now, I want to get back to the parking real quick, because I'm a little confused here. You're talking about cutting off driveways? I want you to be more, you say you're going to close off some of these driveway entrances?
He was saying that it's a possibility that they could park cars there as well. Their engineer had looked at it, that if...
Well, if you're closed, that's fine, but if you're open for business, I mean, what are we going to keep open to make sure people can egress your property? Because they can't park on Bustleton Avenue, and I do not want to see people parking on Bridle Path to access your business. So I want you to go in a little bit more detail of what you're talking about.
For additional space, if needed, like we discussed, yesterday we brought this up. We are able to close one of the entrances.
Okay.
and keep the other one open.
Okay.
To add parking spots or to add, or to not overflow the lot, or maybe overflow it and make sure nobody else parks on Bridle
Parks
Path.
on the street.
So they can either enter from, the customers can either enter from Bridle Path or one of the two
But
Bustleton.
earlier you said you might close Bridle Path off.
No, we were never looking to close off Bridle Path.
That's not what you said? Okay,
We
then
were
I
never-
misunderstood what you were presenting. So you're going to keep Bridle Path open, but on occasion, that you may close.
I know what you're thinking.
Okay.
I want to clear that up.
Not a
So,
problem.
There is that grassy area on Bridle Path. You see the,
Yes,
behind the paved
yes,
area?
yes.
So one of our property's neighbors, they expressed concern that there was going to be somebody parking in front of that grassy area. He didn't want to see that.
Okay.
And we were saying, we're not going to do that. We are going to use that entrance, so there's 3 entrances. This is what we bought. So
Okay.
this is just an existing, this is how the property was when they purchased it, with those 3 entrances.
Okay.
But nobody's going to be parking in front, I think there's a fire hydrant in front of that grassy area. Nobody's going to be parking there.
Right, okay. So you would only close off one of the Bustleton,
Potentially.
potentially if you needed some extra spaces to go. How do you normally get your cars delivered?
Local auctions, they come on a tow truck, which is just a single flatbed. So this location would hold cars that would only come from local auctions. They are able to go inside and just drop the car off to be delivered. If there's any long-distance hauling, the car is coming from far away, and it is to be distributed to that specific location. We own the Ben Salem Township car lot. They can go over there. That's what we usually do. They go to Glenn's Auto Center. We share the parking lot, our dealership. They unload all of the new cars onto his lot. It is our main shop that we use. They go over all the vehicles, do inspections on them, and then we have our lot guys pick those vehicles up and drive them to those locations.
So you don't foresee using car carriers to, because we don't need any more traffic issues on Bustleton Avenue, and you definitely can't be putting a car carrier on Bridle Path and unloading cars from Bridle Path?
No, sir.
Okay, as far as that goes. There was one other thing, the washing of the cars. I was in the crowd when the business before you that went for Stoltz Avenue, and one of the big issues that they were complaining about at the time was washing of cars, okay, and having all that runoff run down and such. And I don't think it was your entity, but a different entity before you, they had an agreement where they would just, wouldn't wash cars on site. They would take them to, at that time, it was Sparkle Car Wash, and they would use Sparkle. There's, from what I remember about this property, there's no parking lot drains. So anything that you wash on there is going to run off somewhere else. So, would you agree that you would not wash cars on property?
We were not looking to do a full extensive detailing at the property, just very light vacuum.
Right.
Just very light rinsing the car off and wiping it down.
Okay.
The problem that a lot of these places run up to is they run a full extensive detailing shop where they grease the engines, grease the motors.
Right.
We do not do that at any of our locations.
Okay.
We outsource that to specific
All right.
detailing shops. We would not be doing any of that.
Okay.
Only just light, just prepare the vehicle for the appointment upcoming.
Okay. And last question. Are you going to keep the lifts that are in the building in there, or are you removing the lifts?
There's no lifts.
Are they took them
All
out?
of the lifts are out.
They took them out? Okay. All righty. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. And
All right, I'm familiar with Glenn's. I drive by it every day on my way to and from work. The sign is terrible, and the cars that are stacked there along Old Lincoln Highway are sometimes 3-4 deep. So I have concerns that it's going to repeat itself at this property.
That's Glenn's sign, actually, and we had numerous talks with him. Our sign is in the middle,
Okay.
Nice and shiny, and then he's got the unpretty one on top.
Okay, well, I'm not for, yeah, the property is a mess.
And our cars at Glenn's are only one line by the perimeter. So everything inside is his, cars that are there to be fixed.
Okay, so you guys share the property is what you're
The
telling
property,
me?
So it goes in a corner, so our cars are, one by one, just on the edge of the property. We have no other parking there. So everything inside the property is Glenn's cars to be repaired and inspected and everything else. Those
Okay.
are not even our cars.
Pertaining to the closing off of the entrances, I have serious concerns because if your building's burning and you have cars parked at one of these entrances, I have concerns about getting emergency vehicles in and off the property.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify again. So Bridle Path, we're not closing that, so there are gonna be two means of egress then. So we're gonna have one on Bustleton Pike and one on Bridle Path.
And there will always be at least two entrances open.
Yes, that's correct.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I also want to reiterate, we are trying to get nice neighbors, good businesses that are interested in helping our community, not just dump on our community. So I would highly encourage you to do something to beautify this sidewalk area, whether it is putting in like a couple of giant boxes with flower arrangements or trees, and really taking care of this back property, no trash. No barrels, no 55-gallon drums hidden in the back, because your neighbors over there are going to see them, and then this guy is going to have to come and visit you. So we're really trying to get people, like Steve said, and, just,
I don't think we ever got a single complaint for keeping it messy or dirty or anything of that nature. We've been in township since 2017, I believe.
but parking's been an issue.
I agree.
Parking's
Yes,
been an issue, and it can't continue to be an issue.
Absolutely.
Do you understand?
Yes, we understand that. Coming back to the Ben Salem location, like my partner said, we are the part that's out of that lot, that's actually taking care of that lot. We are the ones that always snowplow that lot. We are the ones that invested in all the lights on that lot. Glenn's sign, we told them to replace that. We keep asking the landlord, because we do not own that property, to do it. They don't do it. We have to do all of our part nice and clean and neat. They don't hold
I'm gonna
their
look
part of the
tomorrow.
bargain.
I'm gonna look tomorrow on my
Also,
way.
every other location, including our main 906 Bustleton Pike, we put, we put nice paneling, we updated all of the LED lights. We are nothing but, what we like is clean cut. So if we make something, we make it where we like it. We put, our vision, and, we would want this property to look nice, because this property is to sell high-end vehicles, nice vehicles. It is not going to sell, bad clunkers. It is only going to attract, attention. It's, always looks nicer when you live in a neighborhood that sells Mercedeses and Bentleys and something nice, versus, an AMCO with broken car parts on the Bustleton Pike, which is, I think, our main road that we should keep, very nice and clean, as we should.
Also, another thing, we have one neighborhood that has a similar business, and, the people come out and they test drive the cars through the neighborhoods, they do the burnouts, they test the brakes.
Yes.
You need to discourage that. If people need to test drive a car, tell them to, drive to the law.
We have
They
a
can-
sales guy that goes with them every single time when they're in test drive. They have designated route. It's always on Bustleton Pike.
Awesome.
It's never in the neighborhood. If you buy
Excellent.
a car, you want to at least drive it 35 miles an hour, and you can't do it on back routes anyway. So we never had that issue.
All right, good, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, and, okay, I think you asked it about the unloading, loading? Okay, yeah, I think I read that now.
Ms. O'Neill, I'm sitting here counting up the conditions, and I'm up to 17 or 18, and there's a couple things that really aren't clear that I think that need to be clarified, and one of which is vehicle placement and display. I mean, we throw the number 18 around, we throw 22, we throw 24. I think you need to present us, put a thought in it for 2 weeks and come back and show us exactly what you have in mind so that the board can really appreciate it.
I believe the recommendation from our zoning officer was 24.
Yeah.
On the parking lot, they can put as many cars as they want inside the building.
Right, so I'd like something to show me what that plan is. And there's also been, they want some aesthetic improvements, and you say yes, and then we don't know what that is. I think we got to get that resolved before we have a final vote on this matter. So it's my recommendation that this matter be continued until the next meeting, that I will work on a proposed decision incorporating the conditions, and you provide us with those, we'll talk in the meantime, and provide me a clarification on those on those issues and any others that we might come up with, so that I can give that information to the board.
I would be fine with that. I did just want to point out, so there's 18 that are diagrammed, but the testimony was also that you can fit in 6 on that second entrance on Bustleton, so that would get us to the 24 that your zoning officer is recommending. And then my client is receptive to putting some plantings, but would work with the zoning officer to beautify it the way that the...
I think the board has the direction on how we would like the beautification, not the zoning officer.
So you've heard the board's comments. I suggest you come up with some ideas in the next 2 weeks, so they know what you want.
Thank you.
So, is there any other testimony from the public in this matter? It would be my recommendation that we make a motion to continue this matter until the next meeting to address these issues, and I'll work with council and the board to, get this done in an expeditious manner.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we continue this hearing for 2 weeks.
All right, we have a motion.
Okay, what's the date?
The date, so it's on the record.
Yeah, 22nd, is that the?
The 22nd, yes, April 22nd.
Okay, I'll amend my motion.
All right, so we have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? That motion does carry. All right, thank you very much, folks,
Thank
we
you.
appreciate your
I
time.
appreciate your time.
Thank you.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
All right. Line item 3 has been tabled for tonight, so now we will move on to line item 4. Consideration of request of Sunset Memorial Park to release the letter of credit from the security account, allow for substitute security in the security account, to permit the transfer of funds from the professional service account to the security account, also to require a certain amount to remain in the PSA, and to release the balance of the PSA. Mr. Dillon, sir.
Yes, this has been going on for probably a month or so, trying to get this resolved. We've had multiple emails, discussions with the engineer, the accounting department, and I think I've talked to John about escrows, and I would suggest the following motion. The motion would be to release the letter of credit from the security account, to allow for substitute security in this security account, to permit the transfer from the professional services account to the security account of $50,000. That is to replace the letter of credit and provide the security for the repairs. The estimate is under $25,000, so it's more than enough to ensure the completion of the project, and to require that $20,000 remain in the professional services account. It's estimated that that will be $10,000. We're more than protected with that, and that the balance of the funds in the professional services account be released to the applicant.
All right, Board, do we have a motion as stated by Mr. Dillon?
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you very much. Any discussion from the board? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. All right, line item 5, consider authorizing the township manager to sign the Workers' Protection Form for the Green Light Go Grant Agreement. Mr. Galdo, sir.
Thank you, Board Chair. Again, this is a certification form just to show that we're compliant with applicable Pennsylvania labor and workplace safety laws. I was contacted by the Commonwealth. This is with regard to the Green Light Go Grant Agreement. They're trying to get it processed. This particular form needs to be completed before they could execute the grant agreement. So the Commonwealth Legal is requesting the signature for tonight.
All right. So, folks, as we know, this was a late agenda item, so this is going to be a two-part motion. The first motion we are going to make is to approve the addition of the agenda item and to authorize the township manager to sign the Workers' Protection Form for the Green Light Go Grant Agreement. Do we have a motion on that?
Motion.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
All right, very good. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? That motion carries. Now we will move on to motion 2, to authorize the township manager to sign the Workers' Protection Form for the Green Light Go Grant Agreement. Do we have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
All right, Mr. Perrotano, do we have a second?
Second.
All right, very good. Any discussion from the board?
Beat me.
Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? That motion carries. All right, now we will move on to manager's report. Mr. Galdo, sir.
Thank you, Board Chair. I'm going to pass this off to Walt with regard to Township Cleanup Day.
Thank you, Joe. Township Cleanup Day is Saturday, April 25th from 9 to 12. We are still looking for volunteers, groups, people who want to help volunteer at different parks and different spaces around the township. They can reach out to me at my office and we'll get them set up for a spot.
In the signage.
And we have recycling truck coming for electronic recycling and paper recycling, shredding as well.
And signage without through the community.
Oh, yes, there's signs all throughout the community. I spent yesterday putting signs everywhere. Many different spots, and we have one up here, and I'm going to give one to Mr. Koutsaratis as well.
Well, what's the limit on papers?
3 bags.
3 bags?
Or boxes.
Or bank boxes?
Yeah.
Thank you, Walt.
Yep.
Where will the truck be?
The trucks will be right out front here.
Here, okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Mhm.
Sanitation rebate goes through May 31st, 791 rebates, $39,550 has been rebated back to the residents. That's all I have, Board Chair.
Terrific, very good. All right, we'll move on to supervisors' comments. We will start with the young lady to my left, Mrs. Bowman.
Again, I just want to thank the swim team for coming out tonight. As you can tell, the swim community is very tight. I've been a member of the swim community since I was 5, so it was nice to see all the swimmers come out. So I want to thank them for showing up tonight. Just remind everybody, cleanup day, we do need volunteers. You can bring a whole group of people. If you have a preferred location, please let Walt know. I'll be here to register everybody in the morning. What time? 8:30? Around 8:30, we give you snacks and water, tools, high-vis gear, gloves, so you don't really need to bring anything but yourselves, and you get a participation t-shirt. So there's that, you get a free t-shirt. So please, bring the kids. It's great to teach them at a young age to take care of our environment and our communities. So if you have kids, grandkids, nieces, nephews, Boy Scouts, Girl Scout troop, bring them all out. I'm going to see if I can get the swim team to donate some time to clean up around the outside of Pequessing where we swim. So just came to me, that idea. Again, it's getting warm out, so please drive safe. The kids are out on their bikes, people are jogging, so please use safety and slow down, and I hope everybody has a great rest of their week.
Mr. Perrotano, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to thank the public for coming out and being a part of your government. I want to thank those from the Corps Swimming that came out. My children were part of the programs when they were kids, learning how to swim over at the Pequesing School. Right. But, you know, it's the same as far as I'm concerned. I want to thank Mrs. Bowman for the amount of time she put in with the Chamonix Corps. It was very, very huge. And not only that, the fact that she's, you know, made a substantial financial commitment to the organization, I think is very nice. It comes from the heart, yes it does. We already spoke about cleanup day, paper and electronics recycling as well for our residents that need to get rid of stuff. Chief, I don't want to put you on the spot here, but I normally ask in work session, where were we in March on the school bus cameras catching people passing school buses?
The February amount that we took in, I think it was a little bit over $2,700, so it kind of decreased a little bit.
Well, I would hope people start getting the message. As far as a card count,
I have the paper sitting on my desk.
do you really?
I think it's about 2,500 hours for March. Don't quote me, but it's around there.
All right, so people are getting the message.
I hope so, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's good to hear that people understand when the bus stops and puts the sign out, you stop too. All right, we don't want to lose one of our children or students because somebody couldn't wait 15 seconds. So please, keep aware and pay attention. That's all I have, and thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Mr. Paratano. Mr. Bordner, sir.
I'll keep it short and sweet. On behalf of the Lower Southampton Veterans Advisory Council, I'd like to invite the entire town to the Senior Center this Saturday from 9:30 to 1. It's our 14th annual Veterans Advisory Expo. There will be a lot of good information for young and older veterans and their families. Second, if you notice on the township website and on the email blast that goes out, we now have 2 hyperlinks for the Veterans Advisory Council. Each hyperlink offers a different way of honoring our vets in town. One is for the Hometown Heroes flags, and one is for the Hall of Heroes nameplates. All the information's on there. I encourage you to get out there if you want to honor one of your vets. Do it soon. The first order will be going in at the end of this month, and then we'll be moving forward the next order after every 5 or 10 people who apply. Have a great week.
All right, Mr. Castle, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Bordner, who will be the guest speaker at the Veterans event?
Matt Allen will be one of our guest speakers, and there will be 2 other surprise speakers.
Good, okay, thank you. A clean community is good for everybody. I put my deeds into action. I don't just talk about it. So hopefully, we'll have a good crowd on April 25th. Thank you for coming out tonight. You who are here and those who are watching from home, we all appreciate that. And you get to see your local government in action. This is what we like to do. Hopefully, we can keep looking at some trees for Plawecki Farm. I think we were talking about money for that, and it'd be nice to have a row of trees out along that road. So we're thinking of you, Mr. Cates. And Mr. Chairman, it was already said once, but our next meeting is April 22nd.
Correct. All right, very good. First off, I'd like to congratulate our finance director and his wife on the birth of their newest child, little baby boy. Thank you. That's terrific, Nick. Very happy for you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, and I'd also like to wish my my Orthodox brothers and sisters, Mr. Chrysanthus being one of them, our Easter is celebrated this Sunday. So a happy and blessed Easter to all the Orthodox out there. Now, at this time, folks, we are not going to adjourn the meeting. We had done this last week as well, or last meeting. We are going into recess to continue an executive session. Once we come back out, no other business will be happening. We will announce the topic of the executive session. We will adjourn the meeting. You guys are more than welcome to stay. We might be in there for 3 hours, but you guys are more than welcome to stay if you'd like. But if not, we will be going into an executive session, and when we come back out, we will adjourn.
I did do.
So, thank you very much, folks.
Christine, is rolling the whole time, right?
Okay, folks, we are back from recess, or excuse me, from executive session at 9:03. The topic of exec was personnel based on some information we had received from our administration. At this time, can I get a motion for adjournment?
Motion.
Second.
All right, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Aye, motion carries. Thank you very much, everyone.